Hello, welcome back to the channel. Sorry if the light's a little bit weird. I'm trying my best here. It's a bit glaring outside, so I've had to pull the curtains, as you can see. So, it is another month. We're into July. It's quite unbelievable, really, how it's flying through. Bit of a mixed bag for me in June, I've got to be honest, in here. Wanted to do a lot, but just haven't been able to get in here. As I've mentioned before, you know, worked through the lockdown and all that, which is all well and good. But I was sort of starting to tail off into June, getting more time back. But it really caught up with me, so I just wasn't. I was trying to come in here, and it's just like, you know, I'd sit here for an hour, and I just couldn't do couldn't do anything else but lie on the bed and watch TV. So not as productive as I would have liked. Sort of had a little run in. And got going with a lot of stuff, and then just really tailed off almost for an entire week. So everything just caught up with me. So taking a bit of time to recharge. It was forced. I usually have to be forced to try and push through, but there was no pushing through this. But that's all done now. So this is my second weekend off now. We've got weekends off, plenty more time. Starting later in the mornings, and later in the finishing earlier in the afternoon, so a lot more time now, a lot more refreshed, and everything's getting back to normal. So that's good. That's my point of view. Whether all of you want to know about that, you do now anyway, so I thought that would be of interest. So from that point of view, there's quite a lot more sort of on the go in the background as far as the channel's concerned. So I am finding myself very keen to get some videos done, which is a good sign. Sometimes I'm not necessarily infused to sort of do the videos as much as I'm happy always doing the modelling, but videos can be a little bit tricky, but I'm very happy with it. I think if you've been watching the sort of series that I've got with the Spanish Civil War ground vehicles, sort of mentioning that kind of got a different attitude towards it now, just trying to build for the enjoyment of it, try and stick to a few projects. I've got a few stragglers on the go at the minute. Like this weekend, yesterday, this is Sunday, yesterday I was thinking to myself, I need to get all these projects finished. And I thought, well, I don't really, do I? You know, I can, or I can just leave them where they are. It really doesn't matter. I got sort of like, one of them's a 109 that I started last September or October to actually sell on eBay. Well, all that's finished. And I built it just because it was in the box and half built, and I thought, well, I'll go on and finish that. Got it all the way through to the decaling stage, and then sort of being hard on myself thinking about getting that finished. Why, I have no idea, but that's what happened. So that's me, that's my own sort of internal struggle, as it were. So I'm getting over those sort of things. Very easy to be hard on yourself. I've got the amount of boxes that I got piling up here. You think, oh, I want to get through, but at the end of the day, it is a hobby. So I've decided that it's hobby first, whereas it may have been videos first, may have been thinking about building the channel, getting something ready for Telford, putting something in a competition, putting something on Facebook, whatever. That's all secondary. You know, for me, I've been thinking about this a lot, obviously, where I've been working, not being able to do any of the modelling. I had a lot of time to think about it, listening to all the podcasts, watching YouTube videos while I'm working and stuff, and thinking, yeah, it probably is time for a change, where it's very easy to get caught up into, don't want to build that kit because the details aren't right, details are wrong, for instance. I got one here, perfect time. You won't be able to see any of this, just bear with me. This is a little thing I've got on the go. A couple of friends bought me this as part of a couple of things for my birthday, which was very nice. And I was going back and forth on this because the turret, I read somewhere, see, I wouldn't have known if I hadn't read it, that the turret was wrong. And then I've been back and forth looking at it, and I have found out what it is. The turret should be like a horseshoe, like that. And this one is indented, so it's not a smooth horseshoe. It kind of goes like a mushroom, like that. Well, who knows about that? And also, who on earth cares? I even tested it and asked on a tank forum about one of these, something else. It was another turret on a Russian tank, And no one even knew what I was talking about until I pointed it out, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, no, that is wrong." So, if you're into those sort of things, then you might think, "Oh, now I need to do a new turret," and you never build the kit. Whereas I've built that, and it's it's not caused any issues. It's not going anywhere, and it's a small little Panzer I where I've tried some new camo techniques. That's all it needs to be. That's all it is, isn't it? It's really all it is. It's very easy to get into these builds. This isn't where I was going with this, if I'm honest. Sorry about this. I've kind of gone on a rant, but we'll go with it. These builds, it's very easy to get locked into, the build has to be perfect. And often I find that if you're dealing with something like, say, a tank or a plane, you change everything about it, but you know the canopy's slightly off, but you don't worry about that. Well, that sort of undermines the entire bit, if you ask me. I mean, what honestly is the point in doing the rest of it, unless you want to? Whereas a lot of people do it like, oh, that's, say you take an Airfix Spitfire, for instance, which is actually quite accurate, but say you think the wing's wrong, so you're going to modify the wing, you're going to fix the landing gear, but then the profile of the canopy's not right. But you don't want to work with vac form canopies, so you deal with that, and you just put up with it. So why not, why do it in the first place? That's the kind of thing I'm thinking. Also, none of these things are going into even displays, really. They're all my collections. No shows now for at least a year. Even if Telford is going, I won't be going. So, yeah, that's me anyway. It's a lot more enjoyable. So that doesn't mean, oh, I'm never going to use Photo Etch or anything. Happy to improve the things I want to improve, but improve them because I want to, not because I feel like a review on the internet has made me think I should. Not knocking reviews on the internet either. Find them very useful. If someone says they ask you to use this part, but actually in the kit there is this part which you should use, well, that's brilliant. That's great news. You just, that's someone's already done the research. But you shouldn't kick yourself if you've built a model and you've used the wrong sprocket on a tank, or you've put the wrong tail wheel on, or life's too short for that. That's what I'm getting at. So that's how we're going to go forward with some of our builds. Should have a lot more throughput with that as well, which I'm hoping. So now, that rant may have been a complete ramble, so I hope it was of interest to some of you. So let's now move on to the topic in hand. And the main reason for this update. So it is July. It's July the 5th as I'm filming this, and a very important year. 2020 is going to be one of the worst years in history, I think, for all manner of reasons. However, it is a whole load of anniversaries. So we've had Battle of France. Everything that happened in 1940 is an anniversary. And a rather big thing happened in July in 1940, and that was the Battle of Britain. So this is the 80th year anniversary of the Battle of Britain. So it's a very interesting time, and I feel as though it's a very important time, especially for people in the UK. It was a very important time for us, gone down in history that it was the finest hour, and quite right, so quite right too. So because of that, we're going to be building some planes, and we're going to be building them as a tribute to the guys who fought in the Battle of Britain. So we're not going to have a whole load of German planes. I'm going to build Dorniers and all this. We're going to have, hopefully, now I'm not going to go too far into this, hopefully multiple builds, one of which will be German, but certainly more will be British. So I'm going to do 109, and then I'm going to do some British aircraft. The 109 is going to be last, so you don't need to worry about that. We're going to get some RAF stuff out, and we're going to do it for the lads. And this is all linked up to a group build that's going on. Now, I've got a little snippet from another channel here, which is from Tim Hedworth, Tim Scale Modelling, friend of the channel, good friend of mine. He's hosting a group build on his Facebook page, and he's done a little video now, so I'll hand you over to him, and he should explain everything you need to know.
Thanks, Jace. Thanks for the shout. Yeah, BAYS is a British Aviation in Scale is a Facebook group run by myself, helped by a couple of lads, and we are running a group build, which is obviously dedicated to the lads who fought in the Battle of Britain. the date, well, it started already, the date of the group build run from the dates of the battle. So it's the 10th of July and it's going to run right through until the 31st of October. It's quite a long one, but I mean, there's a bit to get through. So I'm really looking forward to it. I hope you might want to join in as well. If you do, come over and find us. I'm sure Jason will put us a link in. Come over and find us on Facebook. We'll get you in and get you into the group build. This one's going to be a bit different, mind. If you know about BAEs, we are primarily interested in British aviation, hence the title. But because the Battle Britain is such a special event for myself and for a couple of other lads, and for a lot of lads actually, not just me, this one, what we're going to do is probably, I'm never going to do it again. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to work out okay. Is we're going to allow access subjects into the group build as well. So obviously the Luftwaffe and the Regina Aeronautica, you got it out. So if you want to throw some of them in as well, you're more than welcome to. But the one rule is you must have built an RAF aircraft first, or subject. It doesn't have to be particularly an aircraft. It could be trucks, it could be figures, we could do dioramas, we could do little vignettes. It's fine, but it must be British or RAF first, and then we can get on to the Luftwaffe later on. Okie dokie, that's the only massive stipulation that I have to stick to, because if I don't stick to that, we have chaos. We don't all want chaos. So once again, thanks to Jace for letting me waffle on. Back to him.
So there we go. Thank you, Tim. That's brilliant. I think that man needs a haircut, but let's settle that the better. Now, so that's one thing. So whether you into group builds, Facebook groups and all that, head on over. BAEs is a great group to be part of. And it's going to be a brilliant group build. It's going on for an awfully long time, and you know, it's not just RAF. You know, you're going to need to build an RAF aircraft, but then you can, you know, chuck in a Luftwaffe aircraft if that's your thing as well. So very interesting, very nice sort of group build, and a one-off. You're not going to see many German things in BAEs, so worth taking the time on that. So what are we going to begin with? On this channel, I'm going to film all of the builds I do for this, but also share them over in BAEs. I'm doing them for the group build, obviously support Tim as well, helps him out. So, starting this month, and it's going to start after the 10th, I'm going to show you the first build, and I'm going to stick to just showing you one build at a time, because things always change, so I don't want to sign up to too much. A tropical hurricane, I nearly said Spitfire, but the Airfix Trop Hurricane, luckily, Airfix being Airfix, has everything you need to do. So it's a Trop, it's a Hurricane, and it's a Seafire as well, all in the same box. I learned this lesson a long time ago, had one, sold one, bought it again. So I don't know what you see here, we'll get more into it, but we've got the two different sections there. So there's where the hook is for the Sea Hurricane, there's the smooth bit for all the other hurricanes. We've got the Trop if you want it, but we've also got the normal air intake as well. So it was just a cheap way of getting this kit. I think it was a tenner at Telford. So straight in with a Hurricane. You can't beat that, can you? You don't get more British all Battle of Britain than a Hurricane. And there may be a little pointer here onto what some of the other projects are going to be as part of this. Because I've got a Battle of Britain set from Hannants, so extra decals. Now, I must admit, I used extra decals on the old Wellington here, which has progressed a little bit. More on that at a later date. But well, the decals have gotten down lovely on the side. Best decals I've ever used. Kera Films disappeared. But for some reason, the roundels just would not. They just peeled off. They've been on there for days and days, matted down, and they just peeled off. They just never set. I just reused the Airfix ones, and that was fine. So, be interesting to see how we get on with the second attempt. But again, with roundels, I think if that happens again, we've actually got a set in here anyway of the roundels I'll be needing. Yeah, so we've got them anyway. So 2 attempts there again if we need it. So what hurricanes are we going to be doing? That's the main thing to talk about, I think. What have we got in here? This set is actually more exciting for Spitfires, but we're not building a Spitfire yet. But if we ever did build a Spitfire, this would be an interesting set for Battle of Britain Spitfires, is all I'm saying. So the Hurricanes is... we have number 85 Squadron, RAF Debden detachments at Martlesham Heath, 25th of July 1940. Flown by A.G. Lewis. So that's quite nice. It's got... again, I know, I'm sure you'll bear with me here. And this has got to be of interest. So that is normal scheme, both of these, obviously the green and brown, and that's got green on the nose cone. So I think what we're going to be doing is the first one. So we're going to be doing the one from RAF Debden, 25th of July, A.G. Lewis. So that should be quite interesting. Again, just a little thing on the old Spits there. God, aren't they lovely? Makes you want to build a Spitfire. Really, really does. Especially when they've got the blue undersides. Well, that's not for now. So the Hurricane as well, actually, so we're going to get very... I'm going to need your help here because I don't know what I'm doing with RAF birds. We've got officially Sky, but shown as Sky Grey is the underside. So I'm not sure what that means, if I'm honest. P2923, yeah. So it's grey with no roundels. So any information on that one, please? Let me know in the comments below. Be grateful to hear what I'm doing there, because now I'm going to go down the tricky old route of RAF colours, it seems. So that's going to be fun, isn't it? And moreover, the actual questionable ones where they're officially Sky, shown as Sky Blue, and officially Sky, shown as Sky Grey. So what on earth does that mean? Oh dear, dear oh dear. Don't make it easy for ourselves. Nevertheless, so hopefully that's of interest to you. I mean, everyone loves a Hurricane. Most people should love the Battle of Britain. It's the time to do it, so we're going to get behind everyone, the boys, the whole lot, you know, finest hour, and we're going to get these built. We ain't going to mess about too much. You'll notice that there's no extras here. We don't want extras. We're going to build this one from the box. Then we're going to build the next kit from the box, and so on. That's going to be the idea. Aftermarket decals, improvements where we can, but generally build it as is. And it's going to be more in the spirit of the Henschel that's on the go at the minute, on the Spanish Civil War one, where kind of talk through it a little bit more, explain what I'm doing, as opposed to go, you know, here's the music, this is what I did, sped up video. We'll still have those filtered in. This isn't going to be all I'm doing. I'll be focused on the builds as we do them, but there'll be builds coming out staggered. There's lots of different things on the go. I like to chop and change to make life interesting. So hopefully that was an interesting video and not too exhaustive. And sorry about the rant at the beginning. If you've got any thoughts on any of that, let me know in the comments below. Be interesting to hear any opinions. Help with those markings on the Hurricane, that would be very useful as well if any of you know anything about that, particularly Sky Grey and Sky Blue. Don't tend to use acrylics, but if you could give me a shout on sort of lacquer, Mr. Colour, MRP, Tamiya, those sort of colours, that's the kind of thing I use, so we'll be needing something there. And I think that's all that there is. So again, thanks for staying tuned with the channel. All your support is absolutely brilliant. I think there's a new thing on the channel. You have to check this out. I think there's a way you can be a member. I don't know what it really is. I think there's like you have to pay £1 or something. I don't know what. If you're interested in that, check it out and have a look. You know, any money that ends up coming my way, be very grateful and help with the channel. So until next time, stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in your comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.